live everywhere. Good deal.
There we
All right. I have no idea where I'm at. Okay. It's been so long, Doug.
I know, right?
All right. Welcome back to episode 271 of the Guy Guns Podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and the responsible Christian gun owners' interest in this week. On this episode, we will talk about what would you do?
What would you do?
What would you do July 2nd, 1776, sitting in Independence Hall? That's what we know it as today. Philadelphia. What would you do? Would you put your neck out on the chopping block? So we'll talk about that in a little bit later. All right, well, thank you, man. With sponsors, Farms Radio Network. We thank them for sponsoring our show, putting our stuff out there for you guys to download at your convenience. If you've not checked out other shows on the Farms Radio Network, please do. There are some new shows over there, and there's some hosts switching around. Our buddy Reed over at AR-15 Podcast has retired and stepped down. He's just had a lot of things going on, and he's had to step down, so there's going to be a little bit of change up over there here soon, and then there's some other things going on as well. We're also over on Oath Keepers TV. Thanks for you guys that are over there joining us tonight. And if you comment, we don't always see it because we've got so many different windows up. So
right.
please give us some grace there on if you're making comments. We'll try to check it, but it's just there's a lot of things going on here. There's just two of us FUDs out there that are trying to figure out this newfangled stuff.
That's it.
You got the next two, dude.
Crossbreed Holsters. Hey, you've heard Troy and I talk about it. If you're carrying a gun, you got it on your person, in your vehicle, or got one next to the bed, you need to check out Crossbreed Holsters. They make a holster for you. Go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross. Also, Tac Lights. Tonight I brought in one of mine. This is my M5. I just wanted to show it off for just a little bit. I think they got a 4th of July sale coming up tomorrow and got some pretty good deals. Remember, they did change our platform a little bit. They got wise to us a little. So anything they have on sale, they will not let you double stack or 40% off. So if they got something that's 50% off or buy one, get one for free, jump on it. So go check our buddies out at powertac.com and use our promo code God and Guns. Get 40% off when you check out.
This week's gun activities. Well, it's been like 2 weeks. So, Doug, what have you been up to?
It has been. Let's see. Sportsman's Day devotional. Wendy and I were down in Panama City this past weekend through part of the week. We were down there about 5 days this trip.
Cool.
And had a good time. Did a little beach time, a little getaway. Got to do a little bit of fishing. Went out on a party boat. And so I'm going to be going back down there again in a couple of weeks, I guess, and see if I can't catch some a little bit bigger red snapper this time while they're still in season. So I had a good time. It was a good trip. Didn't get bit by the COVID as far as I know. No beaches were closed where we were at. And restaurants were open. Didn't seem like nothing, no major shutdown. So it was all good. Let's see what else. Hey, I do want to ask for one prayer request while we are on here, for just everybody to remember. A friend of mine was killed last night in a boating accident on Lake Tobosoffke fishing a bass tournament that I fished countless amounts of times, and they were up there fishing and they were moving from one spot to another, and there was a boating accident. Long story short, he was not in his boat. He was fishing with somebody else in their boat, and he was sitting in the passenger seat, and the two boats were coming at it. And when they saw each other, I guess both of them turned the same direction, and the other boat broadsided them right on the passenger seat where my friend Chris was sitting, and ejected him and the driver both out of the boat. The driver got back, swam back to the boat and got in, and Chris's life jacket expanded, because we always wore those CO2 jackets, and his life jacket brought him back up, and they got him out of the water and him in the boat and started doing CPR on him and got him up to the dock, called paramedics, and he didn't make it. So
wow.
If you guys would keep his family in your prayers this week, because It's tough. So that was a phone call I was not expecting early this morning when I was on the way to work. So anyway, his name was Chris King. So if y'all would just remember his family, I would greatly appreciate it.
Sure, yeah, that's sad to hear, man. They must have been moving on.
Yeah, and I don't know who he was fishing with last night, but he has either a 21 or 22-foot Phoenix with a 250 on the back of it. So he didn't take his boat. So I don't know who he was fishing with. And I'm not sure how fast they were going, but I heard rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. So this is just what I heard from somebody else that was up there fishing, that they thought the boat that hit them didn't have their lights on, and when they were running down the lake. So
wow.
they didn't see him at all. And so who knows? It's just a sad situation.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yep. And that's it for me.
All right. I keep trying to cough. Give me just a second. A cough. You can talk about something.
Talk about. I guess I could talk about the trip we had. My wife went with us on the boat the other day. She's not real big into the motion on the water and stuff. She gets car sick, but we gave her Dramamine and stuff, and she made it for 2 hours and 15 minutes on the ride out. Did fine. Man, I was so proud. Like, oh yeah, she's gonna be good. Had the Dramamine in her and stuff. And when that boat stopped is when it got her, because it was no longer just cutting through the waves, going. And once it stopped, that boat was doing a lot of the up and down, and kind of got her. Plus, we stopped. It kind of got a little hotter because it didn't have that breeze blowing on her.
Oh yeah.
But she wasn't feeling too hot for a little while. But she still didn't feel good most of the night. But at least she got a little bit better. And she didn't fish with me, but she was there for moral support.
She was baiting the hooks, was she?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. Putting them in the bucket. All right, so my stuff is, of course, daily Bible reading, watching online sermon while serving in security at church. We've got it set up now so we can actually watch, since there's a camera in the church, and listen. So that's good. And then I've been doing the prayer and fasting. We just finished up week 11. I've been doing this 11 weeks now. Wow, man, it's gone by like crazy. But fasting today, I've been fasting at least 2 days a week since I started it. I've fasted as much as 4 or 5 days in a row. It's 4 days in a row so far since this 11-week period. And I tell you, I feel better the days I fast than the days I don't. And the days I eat out, I feel 3 times worse than the days I eat. I don't know, man. It's just, I find that the less I eat, the better I feel. As far as like calorie wise, if I'm eating 1 or 2 meals a day, I feel better than 3 meals a day, or 1 meal better than 2 days. Just weird. But it's something I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning what not to do, what to do. You don't have like a 4 or 5 day fast and come back 8 cheeseburgers. You got to sort of introduce some more easily digestible things in there. But there's been a lot of prayer needs in our family and our friends and stuff over these last 11 weeks. It's good that I've been able to fast and pray through this, and I've seen God answer prayers. It has been amazing to see. If you don't have opportunity, I try to do one every morning. Sometimes the time has always seemed to vary, because sometimes I got to be somewhere at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I have to do it at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So the times vary, but most every morning you can find it on our God and Guns page. So I've been trying to do well at that. It's a learning curve. I mean, we've done 55 shows in 11 weeks, so
there you go.
We're 271 shows in 6 years, so I'm cranking through. They average about 15, 20 minutes max. I try to keep them as short as possible because I know a lot of people are trying to do them on brakes and stuff like that. As far as the guns, I've been cleaning guns. I've gotten all my reloading stuff in, my smelting pots, and all that stuff. And then I've had lots of personal things I can't really talk about been going on the side. So I've had to sort of sit on my projects and fun stuff on the side and deal with those issues for now. But hopefully that'll clear up soon, and we'll be back to being able to go shooting. And I really want to get this range done. I've been waiting for it to dry up, and now it's dried up, and I've just had these other interruptions and stuff going on. But it'll all work out. It'll be okay. ADC, I'm carrying the 30S. I have rebuilt I would put it in a safe, but I've been working on a Lone Wolf lower Glock 19, and I've been tuning it up, and I put a Suarez flat trigger in it, and I've got a Suarez RDS cut. And I've got to send off my Trigicon RMR because it's not. I mean, the battery went dead, but the cover on it and stuff ripped off a while back. It still works, but I'm going to send it back for warranty work. As soon as I get that back, I'm going to probably start running that and maybe some classes and stuff. Gunner's got a Bulwark's 2-day pistol class coming up the 25th this month down in Glasgow. So anybody looking for a really good pistol class, that 2-day class is great. And it's all the fundamentals, everything about carrying concealed, everything about good marksmanship. I mean, they drive home marksmanship, accurate shots, taking a good shot, safe gunning practices. So if you've not checked those out, guys out at Bulwarks, they got a lot of classes, and if you got enough people, they'll have a class at your range or even your place if it's a safe place to have it. So check those guys out. They've got a lot of cool stuff. What are you carrying tonight?
Oh, tonight I got the usual suspect. I got the Glock 19 with the student of the gun night vision sights on it, which I love. Those things are so bright. And that's all I got. I got my flashlight on me. I left Puff in the house tonight. I didn't make him come outside.
So you want him to sweat too much? Is it hot down there in Georgia?
It is a little toasty warm today.
Yeah. It's been hot here, man. I tell you, this solar minimum is causing us to get more sunburns, at least my family, than normal. That when you have a solar minimum, that the shield that protects the earth from the solar rays is weakened because there's not as much sun activity, and so that allows more different levels of radiation to get through, and it can actually burn your skin worse. So if you're getting sunburns and you never used to get sunburns, there's a reason.
Right.
I know some people that have good dark complexions like myself. I mean, I'm a very dark person, and I don't usually ever burn unless it's like if I take my shirt off on skin that hasn't been out in the sun in 20 years. That might burn, but as far as anywhere where I'm normally exposed to sun, I don't usually burn. And this year I've burned like every time I mow now. I'm getting burns, and I've got dark tan, but I'm getting burns and stuff. So it's a dangerous thing. You gotta wear some long sleeves maybe if you're really light complected. Well, that was the health segment for us this week. Do you have any feedback?
I did not.
I've had some.
You need to show your new shirt off, actually.
What's that?
You need to show your new shirt off because I can only see the top part of it.
Doing this without falling on myself. Not today, Antifa.
I like it.
That's a Alex Jones InfoWars shirt. They had them on clearance a couple weeks ago, and I think they're like $10 a piece. I picked up several different conversation starting shirts.
Oh, I bet they do.
You got us a blonde joke.
And what's that? Oh yeah, I do got a blonde joke. I'm sticking with the theme, for Chris's benefit, because I know how much she enjoys them.
She does. She loves them so much. Right now,
So
she's
a
not really
highway,
all that blonde though. She ain't been to a hairstylist in about 4 months. So
it's because of the COVID.
it's more of a grayish brown color right now.
So this one is of course, this was a blonde joke. A highway patrolman pulls alongside a speeding car on the freeway. Glancing at the car, he was astonished to see that a blonde behind the wheel was knitting. Realizing that she was oblivious to his flashing lights and siren, the trooper cracked down at his window and got on the bullhorn and yelled, "Pull over." And the blonde yelled back, "No, it's a scarf." There you go, Krista. I know she'd like that one.
I like that one.
Hey, tell her she's in for a real treat because I found a website of nothing but blonde jokes.
Oh, she'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
She might dye her hair red or something this time. You have to find that redhead. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
she used to have red hair back when the kids were little.
Did she?
Because something about when she got pregnant, her hair color, when she tried to do blonde, it just didn't work. But red worked. I don't know what the deal was. Some kind of chemistry there. I don't know. Or that was just an excuse she gave me. It could be. All right, so we got Bible verses tonight. We're going to be in Proverbs 6, let's see, 16 through 19, and pop them up here where you can see them. Now, where are they over here? All right. There's 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. If this isn't talking about the current state of our media in this country, I don't know what is. What do you think, Doug?
No, I think it's spot on.
God hates these things. If you're in the party that's a part of this, you might want to think about your eternal resting place and that you have God hating you. Haughty eyes. I mean, that's like everybody in the world, everybody on TV these days have haughty eyes, thinking they're above everyone. A lying tongue. That's like all of politicians
and most news media.
Most news media. Hands that shed innocent blood. That's your communist / Democrat protesters. Well, not necessarily. I mean, not the protesters. The ones that are firebombing and killing people and beating people up, shooting people.
Right.
That's the ones we're talking about. I don't have any problem with protesting. I have been in protest. Doug and I together have been to a protest. We didn't burn nothing down. We didn't knock no windows out. We didn't loot no stores. We didn't beat people and drag them out of the cars. We protested and made ourselves known, and that was it. And that's what you're supposed to do. That's your First Amendment right.
Yep.
Once you start taking on other people and trying to take away their rights and trying to beat them down and kill them and burn their businesses to the ground and take over their police stations, you're now enemy combatant. And I think they're starting to break down on that from what I hear.
Yeah, just a little.
I hear several people got arrested here recently. A heart that devises wicked plans. Do you know people who are scheming to try to take down and destroy people, nations, cities? Do you know feet that run to evil? I've seen lots of videos of people running to steal, kill, and destroy. So, so just a fair warning out there that to those people who are not children of light, but children of the darkness, there's a day coming, and you don't know when it's going to be, and I don't know when it's going to be. Even Jesus don't know when it's going to be. Only God knows when His grace is going to run out. And at that point in time, if you've not repented and changed from your evil, wicked ways, there's going to be a judgment. And that judgment is going to be between the goats and the sheep. The sheep hear the voice of Jesus, they follow him. The goats go to the left, the sheep go to the right. The goats go into eternal lake of fire. Just letting you know. That's out there. It's a real thing.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. And I'm not mocking. I'm just saying, I've warned you. You're on your own after that. Because God is giving you every opportunity to hear the word of God and to do right. And if you choose to keep following the evil one, you're going to end up with him for eternity in a tormenting, horrible place. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, so we're going to go on to the main topic tonight. Drop this thing out of here. Boom. All right. Main topic. What would you do if you were sitting in a sweltering, hot Independence Hall in Philadelphia back on July 2nd, 1776? I think I would be very, very listening, because you're going to be enemy of the state of England, right?
Probably be a little concerned.
Yeah. So these 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, they were meeting on the 2nd of July, and that's when it sort of was all written and ready to go, and then they formally signed it on the 4th of July. But the statement that comes about is, and for the support of this declaration, with firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And there were a lot of those signers that paid with their lives.
Oh, yeah.
They lost everything they had, and they were dragged through the streets as far as their reputations as being traitors to the queen or the king or whoever it was.
To the crown.
To the crown. And so you have to realize what a monumental undertaking that they were taking as these 13 little colonies in this new world that were tired of representation and taxation without representation, numerous violations of their rights under the Magna Carta, under even under their own British King's agreements. He has violated those to the point where they said, "Look, after long-term events are occurring that are continually attacking our rights and our abilities and not allowing us a formal redress, we are declaring independence. We're no longer part of you." To the most powerful, I believe probably the most powerful nation in the world at that time, who had the most ability to go to war, and they were pledging everything they had for this independence, this freedom. And fast forward today, was it 244 years? 244 years later, we can barely get people to show up to vote. We can't get people to call their senators or their representatives. We can't get people to stand on principle. We can't get people to even mail in ballots. And so, what are we going to do as we go forward here? If this becomes, I mean, we're talking about a minority. I mean, a very minuscule number of anarchists and Democrats who are trying to overthrow the Constitution. Now, they've been trying to overthrow it slowly, and they've been doing a good job of it for at least 80 years since FDR. Well, it's been longer than that. Yeah, I guess FDR was probably 80 some years ago, where you had progressives, otherwise known as socialist Democrats. Progressives, it means they're trying to progress you away from your freedom into slavery of communism. What would our founding fathers say, Doug? I mean, if they could see the way that we've been abused and our rights shredded from us over these last 244 years, where would we be at? I mean, what would you think they would say?
I'm sure they would be highly disappointed that all the work they did and all the people's lives that were lost, to do this. I'm sure they'd be disappointed in how government actually is involved in things that they were never supposed to be involved in to start with.
Yep.
So I don't even know what to say. I can only imagine they're probably rolling over in their grave right now when they see things that are going on today.
Yeah, I mean, people of that time had a lot more fortitude. They were a lot more manly. They were a lot more willing to stand up and die for their beliefs. Today, people don't want to be bothered to even watch a full 2-3 minute video on something to try to learn something. They watch the first 30 seconds and they click on to something else, right? You can't keep people's attention long enough to understand that what is happening, the erosion of the rights that were fought, bled for, people died for, people lost everything for, is being stripped away by little basement dwelling commucrats that are trying to take away our religious freedoms, trying to take away our freedom of speech, trying to take away our private property rights, the rule of law. And we've got politicians standing back and letting them. If there's not a cleaning of the house of all these Democrats and these whiny, spineless Republican rhinos come this fall, it's a sad, sad state we're in. Because you can see who is the children of darkness and you can see who is the children of light. And I'm not saying political, I'm saying individuals. There's no Republican Party is not 100% moral or anything. I mean, there's just as many sick, depraved, messed up people in that party as there is in the Democratic Party. But you can see who's trying to strip away your freedoms. And the reason that they want to do that is because socialism or communism takes away the family unit. They want to break up the family unit. Communism takes away your religious freedoms. They want to destroy the image of the state. They want to take away the image of God in the community, right out in the open. They want to suppress that. They are amoral, unbelieving people, and they will oppress you to the point of killing you. In China, if you're a Christian, they can take you, put you in a hospital, take your organs out, sell them, or give them away to their Communist Party leaders, and throw you in a ditch. That's communism. If you don't know what communism/socialism is, that's what it is. It's stealing, killing, and destroying. If you read the works of Marx, you read that he was a devil worshiper. He wasn't just an atheist. He actually liked the things of Satan. He liked the destruction of the church. He wanted to destroy the church. It was a religious persecution. And you look at what happened to Russia and how many Christians were killed, how many people of education were killed. He wanted a dumb populace that was depraved that he could rule over. When you have people that are not very intellectually smart like communists, they want to try to rule over people that aren't smart enough to figure it out. And so they have these people who follow them around thinking that they're going to be empowered. And they're just children of the devil. I mean, you get down to the basic point of it. Come on here, Doug.
No, I agree with you. And I know we're talking about the 4th of July, but one thing that's got me just ticked off is going around tearing down all these statues that they don't like, and it's mob rule. They start going after stuff, and it doesn't matter what it is. If they just disagree with it, it could be anything. They're going through and tearing down.
Emancipationists. They were tearing down a statue of emancipationists. Right. Black Lives Matter was tearing down a statue of the man who was for emancipating the slaves. He was an abolitionist. They disgraced Abraham Lincoln's memorial, and they wanted to tear it down. I'm like, he freed the black people. He freed the slaves. Why would you attack? Because That is the communist playbook. The communist playbook tries to remove every bit of history of a country when it comes in. They want to remove the imagery, they want to remove the symbolism, they want to remove any kind of thing that will draw people back to know what kind of country it used to be, and they want to reform it into this socialist paradise which never existed.
You're right.
So as we celebrate the 4th of July this weekend, when your liberal nephew or niece or son or daughter or cousin comes up and starts berating you for being a Christian gun owner or giving you that look, will you even say anything? Will you even explain to them? Will you even? I mean, I've been given gag orders when I'm around certain family members. Keep the peace. But if they start it, then I'm allowed to finish it.
It's on then.
I am nice and polite, and I don't say a word. But man, if they open up that can, I'm like, "Woo, let's go!"
Yeah. I've been on a roll for the last few days myself.
I tell you, the most uneducated people in the world are out there trying to tell us about what's wrong with America, and we look at them right in the eyes. I mean,
All these little couch dwellers, that got off mom and daddy's couch in the basement, and they put their Antifa stuff on and cover their face and put their hoods up and run around and start all this anarchy. It's anarchy. It's all it is. And in the little city of Chaz or Chop or
it's gone.
Chop Suey, whatever it was, it's gone now. But what is sad is that it took that Democratic mayor that's in charge of that city
Governor,
until they came to her house and started there. That's when it's like, oh, this ain't cool now.
No, ain't fun no more.
You're at my house. I mean, what? You can't be here. You're supposed to be down there in Chaz. Stay down there. We gave you the whole city block or two. And it took 23 days to realize that was not a good idea.
Yep.
I don't understand it.
The funny thing was, I saw somebody had the analogy. I think it was those brothers, the twin. Was it Hodge brothers or the Hodgen?
Yeah, Hodge twins.
Hodge twins. They had an analogy. I think it was yesterday. I think I posted it on my Facebook or reposted it, whatever. They said, so here they're protesting Americans, Christopher Columbus, who came here and declared this country his and set up his government here on this country. But what's different than that than then people coming in there and declaring this 7-block area theirs? And what's the first thing they did? They built walls to keep other people out.
Right.
The next thing they did is they armed the guards to keep people from coming in they didn't want in there. And then they wanted to try to oppress the people that were in there to pay them money and stuff. And they just laid it out. Boom, 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 boom. You're doing everything that you said that you're against.
Right. They didn't want no police in there, but they had security forces.
There
to help protect, which they weren't protecting, they were just extorting.
Yeah.
So if you don't have police to help protect, well, then you can sell your services as mafia, basically.
Yeah.
And get paid protection.
Well, a lot of our government is already organized mafia.
Well, it is. but that's a thing that, like in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, that city council has to be some of the stupidest people I have ever heard of in my life.
They're politicians.
Well, not all politicians are bad. A lot of them are, but
90-something%, Doug. I'm telling you, 90-something% need to go home or go to some other country that will like tyrants.
Well, the sad thing is they want to abolish the police department in Minnesota and stand up all these, social workers and this and that. And to come out and do whatever. But then they go out and they pay for private security. They've already took taxpayer money and spent well over $60,000 to pay for security for themselves.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think they care about you? No.
But the whole thing about what they're after is the communists are after getting rid of local police. They want to get rid of the local police departments. They want to bring in either federalized police or some kind of a larger police force that is not accountable to the local people. And you're talking about a real police state. When you have people in charge of holding security over people who are not of their local community, that they don't have any kind of allegiance to, they don't play ball with their kids, and they don't go to church with the same families, and they don't have picnics together. When you got people from other parts of the country coming in to be your police force, you're talking about some really draconian police measures, some overreactions, and some I don't care about these people, I'll mow them down. That's what you're going to get into. But the reason they have that is so that there is no allegiance to the local people. They can suppress your freedoms. They can suppress your right to go to church. You can suppress your right to free speech. They don't have any qualms about it. They're calling in the UN. Who's calling the UN? Chaz was wanting the UN to come in and protect them as a nation state. They come in, they declare themselves owners or in control of grounds which are already under control of the U.S. government, state government, and city government, right. And they want to take those grounds and they want to declare that those are theirs. They're no different than any other person that they've been talking about. So, but that's the goal. When you see them talking about getting rid of the police departments, well, they want to bring in federalized police, or they want to bring in private security for certain people. Everybody else is on their own, and then the people will cry out, "Oh, we need more government. We need more regulations." That is always the government's thing. They always come up and they create a crisis by which they have the only answer by which they're going to give you, which takes away your freedom. Each and every time, the goal of the government, politicians, bureaucrats is to take away your freedom for security. There is no security. There is none. The only security you have is what you're willing to die for. The only rights you have is what you're willing to die for. The only thing that you can ever obtain, keep, or whatever is what you're willing to die for. And if you're not willing to do it, it's going to fall on your children. It's going to fall on your grandchildren. It's going to fall on all of your neighbors and nephews and nieces. If you don't stand and let these little tyrant basement dwellers and these rotten-headed teachers and these union leaders that want to bring in communism, those people are declared as useful idiots by Lenin, right? Those people are the agents of change. As soon as they get communism in, the leaders are going to get rid of those people because they're anarchists, and they'll be anarchists after the communists come in and take power, and they will cause trouble, and then they know that they got to get rid of them because they're the people that will stand up and stand in the face of the gun and cuss you out and threaten you and burn your stuff down. Well, they don't want that once they're in charge. So they get rid of those useful idiots, the ones that don't know history. If you knew history of the Communist Party, you know the history of the abuses of that party, how many millions of people they have killed in fairness under the label of being fair and equal and just. And oh, it's such a lie that people are so duped by the devil, I tell you. It is amazing. It is amazing to see the ignorance that walks the streets these days, declaring themselves as intelligent. But going back again to 1776, these guys were willing to lay down everything. They willing to walk away from their jobs. All these guys that signed this thing, they walked away from their everyday life to go and serve their country as representatives. And then they stayed around and helped, form the government of the United States. And then as soon as they had things set in place, they got out of the way. Now, some of them, became presidents, and some of them became senators and representatives, but a lot of them became governors and things like that. But they were willing to take the sacrifice in order that their posterity, their children, their grandchildren, and on and on, would have the freedoms that we now enjoy, or what we somewhat enjoy. We don't have the total freedoms that we should be having, because when you have a people who are not believers, they have to be ruled with an iron fist. That's how you have to take care of Chaz. Is you got to go in there and knock their heads and put them in police in custody and throw them in jail. Why? Because they aren't self-governed. Only people who are religious people who are of faith, are self-governed. And so we didn't have to have all these prisons back in the day. You didn't have very many people committing crimes because most people were self-governed at the time of 1776. The ones that weren't were quickly dealt with. They had a holding cell until the judge came to town, and then you had guilty or not guilty. They're guilty, they went straight to punishment. They didn't have a court of appeals and house them and feed them for 14 years while they had 17 different chances back at the court to try to get out. You had guilty, not guilty, punishment. That was it. And the reason we're in such a horrible shape now is you got people that should have been eliminated a long time ago, and people that don't understand that there's a penalty for your problems, for your illegality, for your murder, for your stealing and things like that. There should be swift and quick punishment, and that will stop that. It's just amazing to see.
Yeah, they didn't have any repercussions with all the crap going on lately. They, if they got arrested, they were out that night or 5 minutes after they got them down there.
All right.
So there was no repercussion for what they were doing or anything else.
Well, I think the federal government is doing something. How far that will go and how far the states will resist that, the cities and whatever will resist that, I'm sure the Supreme Court will get drug into it as well. We can't have rule of law anymore. We have to have these judges step outside of their authority to tell the president and the mayors and the governors what they can and can't do. It's gotten ludicrous. I tell you, it's time for a house clean, Doug. Mm-hmm. We need to come in and clean that mess out and run all them politicians out there. It's a organized crime unit. Nancy Pelosi is like a mob leader.
Between her and Chuck Schumer, that's like sickening.
Well, and if you guys don't get out and vote, we ain't gonna have no country. And we got 4 months, and they're gonna steal it if we don't hold their feet to the fire. It's mail-in ballot stuff. You need to be opposing it in whatever county, city, state you're in. Oppose that stuff, because that is going to be straight up stealing the election. They've already busted people up New Jersey.
Yep.
And busted a bunch up there. I think in New York they had some ballots that they were bringing in and stuff. They caught those guys. I'm telling you, they're stealing it because they can't win it. There ain't enough of them to win it outright. They're stealing it. And they're doing it under the right in your face. It's just amazing. Amazing. Oh, well, I've been ranting tonight. Let's find something good to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about? We all know 4th of July.
I get too upset about it.
Y'all gonna have a cookout or something?
We're actually going to the lake with Matt and Tara, my daughter and my son-in-law. Yeah. They invited us to come up to their parents' lake house. They're having a 4th of July party, fireworks, and that kind of stuff. And
cool.
So we're going to go up there and hang out for a little while.
How's Tiffany doing?
She's doing much better.
Good.
Thanks for all the prayers for her too. She's feeling a lot better now.
Well, good. I'm glad that that worked out. I know it was scary when you can't be in the hospital there with her when she's going through that.
It's horrible.
Good. I'm glad she's all over that and past that. And everybody else doing good?
Oh, yeah.
John finally kicked his bug?
He did. Did
he have the COVID-19?
No. They said he didn't. I thought I'd have been willing to lay $100 bill on it that he did, but they said he didn't.
All right. Well, let's thank our different sponsors here. Then we'll get on to the Armed Citizen of the Week, and we'll be rolling on. You guys comment on there's a comment section there. You guys can send us messages and stuff live. You got questions and things we'll be talking about. Well, first, thank Oath Keepers for having us over there on their media and their TV channel and all that stuff. So we appreciate that.
Indeed.
And our buddy Wally over at Sub MOA Shooting gave us a code for you guys if you are a reloader like I am. If you want, I think it's 10% off. You use the code God and Guns all together, and it's submoashooting.com, and you can check them out. And then go ahead and take the other ones, Doug. We'll get on to the Armed System.
Hey, Crossbreed Holsters. People have asked us what we like to carry in. I carried the whole time I was in Florida Super Tuck Deluxe with my Glock 19, and Crossbreed just makes a comfortable holster that you can wear anytime. Go check them out. They make a holster for pretty much whatever you want to carry and however you want to carry. So go check them out at crossbreedholsters.com. If you find something, or when you find something, use the promo code GNG when you check out and get a 10% discount just for listening to the show. Also, Axelson Tactical. If you're looking for a precision tac driving rifle, go check out some of the Axelson stuff. And they've been having some pretty good deals, $300, $400, $500, $600 off of some of their precision rifles and stuff they got. I mean, they had some good deals, man. I almost literally pulled a trigger on a 308 the other day that I've been looking at. But they make the precision rifles. They make if you're a long distance shooter, they make precision rifles for the bolt actions for that. They do custom guns for Glocks and SIGs. They just have a lot of stuff out there. So go check them out at axelsonusa.com and use the promo code God and Guns over there, and you get 10% off also. Power Tac Lights. I was showing you earlier my new M5. This is the one I got for, Memorial Day weekend sale. And I jumped the gun and bought it too quick and didn't use the promo that they were running. So I used our promo code and got it half off, or 40% off, I should say. But I like it. It's rechargeable. You can hook up to it. It's magnetic. You charge there. It's got 5 different power settings on it. They just make great lights. I have a weapons light on one of my ARs. I have a headlamp. I have this one, and they had the Warrior series on sale the other day, and it was really cheap compared to what it is. But go check our buddies out at powertac.com. Use a promo code over there of God and Guns, and they will give you 40% off. But remember, it doesn't apply if it's already discounted or marked down. They won't let you double stack discounts, but 40% off on anything that's just regular value is a good deal also. So go check our buddies out, powertac.com. Also, Palmetto State Armory. Palmetto State, they've been running some daily deals, but it seems like here lately it's been a lot of the same stuff. So, I think they have run out of things to sell.
Yeah,
because people just
depleted.
Yeah, everything's depleted. They get 1,000 rounds of ammo on there, and within it seemed like 2 minutes, it's gone. But anyway, you can use our affiliate link for Palmetto State, and they don't give you a discount for that, but they do send us a little bit of love back toward the show that we turn around and use to bandwidth and different things that we have going on. So go check our buddies out at Palmetto State Armory. If you need a link, you can email me or Troy, and we will shoot it to you.
Good deal. Armed Citizen of the Week. What do we got going on?
Armed Citizen of the Week this week comes to us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This was on June the 2nd from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Around 4 a.m. on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, 4 men arrived at the Firing Line Gun Shop in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and used tools to break into the building. Once in, they headed up the stairwell to the second floor. On the second floor, the owner of the shop was waiting for them. The owner had been alerted by a recent spat of looting in the city and was inside the building safeguarding the firearm inventory. The suspects were met by the armed shop owner, who fired 3 shots. One of the suspect robbers was shot fatally and another was wounded. The four men fled the building and sought treatment at a local hospital where they issued false reports regarding their gunshot wounds. Police were quickly able to link the men to the failed robbery attempt at the firing line. The facts we know and the law are clear that business owners use of force while inside his own property against a burglar accompanied by others who were entering with a gun in his hand was justified, the Philadelphia district attorney stated in a news release. It is fortunate for the city of Philadelphia that the large cache of guns and ammo were not taken and sold on the streets. At this time of reporting, a 17-year-old suspect has been charged with robbery, burglary, conspiracy, and related charges stemming from the alleged involvement in an armed robbery attempt. And like I said, that came to us from Fox 29 in Philadelphia.
Cool.
Good guy with a gun.
Yep. Stops him
Hey,
every time.
did you see in St. Louis where that doofus up there is trying to bring charges against those homeowners that came out with a gun to protect their property from the mob that broke in? And they're talking about pressing charges against them now.
Yeah, the only thing is that woman did point a pistol at people, which is considered lethal force. And then it becomes where they feel like they were threatened. And I think when you have 300 people break down the gates to your private community and come in and threaten to kill you and your dogs and stuff, I think that would be considered a threat.
Considering everything else that was going on, it's probably pretty credible.
Yeah, and I noticed that we have a lot of people in the gun community, especially a lot of trainers, and I know these guys personally, and I've taken them to task on it because they're holding gun owners to a level of expertise that they can't even hold police to. Right. That they should be able to be trained to where they can stand there with their gun in their holster while they're getting cussed, chewed, yelled at, windows beaten in, people tearing down your gates and stuff, and that they're normal people should be able to have ninja-like abilities to not use their weapon and not brandish it. Well, I'm telling you, 300 people come walking on my property, they're going to see a gun. And it's probably going to people in their direction. And, because I feel that's a threat when you come in there. And the whole reason they came in there anyway was for the mayor, wasn't it? When the mayor of the town that they broke into that community where she lived at. Mm. And these two people that were holding guns were lawyers. And I think they were both Democrats. So the irony is that they would do that. Of course, I guess they can represent themselves. They probably would choose not to, but I would think they would know the law. At least I would think, well, I don't know what kind of law they practice, but you would think that they would know enough of the law that they would know they couldn't point a gun unless they had a reason to use it. And I think that people threatening to kill them, their dog, and burn their house down would probably constitute a reasonable defense. Mm-hmm. And there was probably enough cell phone footage of all that to get enough evidence to show that they weren't the ones that were aggressing. It was the people who broke into the community that started it. So, Democrats are going to use every opportunity, and people that are trying to use this whole created crisis to gain more power, more control, and to attack guns. But, I noticed that in that instance, nobody got killed. Nobody got beat up. Even though she had poor gun handling skills, the husband was a little bit safer, but he did flag his wife with his rifle like 16 times. They need training, but at the end of the day, they didn't get their house burnt down. They didn't get killed. The dog didn't get killed, and the people left. So the Second Amendment doesn't have qualifiers as to who gets to carry a gun and what manner they carry it and whatever. At the end of the day, the gun is there to protect the citizen, and you don't have to be a super qualified a police level trained ninja to do that. I saw another video today where there was these two agitators trying to get a fight started with a man and a woman. It looked like a father and daughter at a store, and they started trying to attack, and they started just cussing them out and calling them racist, walking in behind the car while they're trying to back out. Then the girl jumps out with a pistol. She's like had enough, and she shouldn't have jumped out of the car. But when you're a normal, everyday working person and someone attacks you like that, you're gonna react. You're gonna blow. You know? And the fact is, she got out. She told them to get away from the car, to get away from them, and they finally backed off. She got back in the car and left. Nobody got shot. Nobody got killed. She was mad, and the guy was really mad. He wanted to punch him. He was wanting to punch him in the face, and he's like, nope. And so the cooler heads prevailed, and they left. Now, they're going to probably charge her with brandishing a gun. But the thing is, there was two people attacking them that they didn't provoke as far as I saw in the video. Now,
right.
She might have done something before the video, but all I saw of that video was two people attacking another person and trying to provoke them into a fight. And so you see this over and over again. It's the same stunt. They want to get something on video that they can start another riot. And you have to be cool and collected, but I'm telling you, you got that kind of people beating your windows in, stopping you in the middle of traffic and stuff. You know, you walk out from my truck, I'm keeping rolling. That
Stay out of the road.
A 580 horsepower diesel engine is not going to feel much. And that bumper is really hard. And so I'm saying don't do stupid stuff and you don't get hurt.
Yeah, my mama taught me at an early age, stay out of the road.
She run you over?
Because you might get run over. And I learned that lesson.
We
Stay out of the road.
We have a neighbor who you know who is now very elderly, but she used to drive up down this road when I was a kid, and my grandmother and grandfather said, don't ever get near that road because she drives like 80 miles an hour on this little and she will kill you.
Dead.
She'll kill you dead. And she played the piano in our church. You might know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
And her dad about got killed on that road when he was a kid getting off a bus out here. And this day, it's got 35-mile speed limit on it, and people come over that hill so fast they leave the ground. It's just crazy. But that's a whole nother matter really people don't care about. So hope you guys have a great 4th of July. We're going to wrap this puppy up. Anybody have any questions out there? I see some posting over there on YouTube. Nobody's posting on Facebook.
It's Thursday night. Must be something good on.
I don't know. I guess it's sunny outside still. People are at their pools or people are enjoying the outdoors or in the gardens and stuff. So that's just the way it is in the summertime. Seems like we're usually on mission trip. This is the first birthday, and I have not. This last week was the first birthday I had that I didn't. I wasn't on a mission trip or wasn't on a youth trip in the last 12 to 14 years, I guess. I mean, my kids haven't celebrated a birthday with me unless they're on a mission trip with me or on a youth trip with me for over a decade. And it was sort of strange that we were able to celebrate together, but one kid was working and one kid wasn't. So that's the way it goes. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Send your feedback to Troy at GuyandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Like us on iTunes. What am I doing? Leave us an iTunes review. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com /GuyandGunsPodcast. Hey, Jim's there. John's there. All right. So we got people over there watching. They're just not commenting. Facebook.com.
Oh, snap.
I don't get feedback. Now you done it. Follow us on YouTube. I have a Parler account now for Guide and Guns. So you just go to Parler, set you up an account, and it's Guide and Guns. I shared a link on Facebook this week because I see our numbers getting squeezed. I see we used to have a whole lot more stuff going on and a lot more follows, likes, and stuff like that. And it's like, boom, it went from like 100% to 10%. So as we get closer to this election, I'm sure that we're going to become offensive enough that that they're going to take us down at some point or really slow us down. So my encouragement is to get a Parler account. It seems to be freedom loving. Most of the people I respect have set up a Parler account over there. So go check us out at Parler, Parler, and you can find me under Troy Clapton. You can find God and Guns there as well. And I've had an account there for about a year. So also Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter because it's just such a disgusting place. The vulgarity and the things they allow people to say, the hate, man. It's just like it's programmed into the system. Instagram, we are on Instagram, and I post some things over there from time to time. Our website, we need to get that back up and going. We're going to have to make an effort at that. Anything else, Doug, before we close it out? Are you muted, Doug? I can't hear you.
I might have been, sorry. I switched over to the Facebook thing to answer Jim. Hey Jim, how you doing? And John. And I was going to answer them when I switched over. It wasn't muted, so I muted myself so I could get the mute button. But anyway, I just go say I hope everybody has a safe 4th of July weekend.
Yep.
Be safe out there. A lot of people are going to be shooting fireworks. Just be careful and have a good time.
Same here. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. Be careful and be safe, and beware, because there's probably going to be as many anarchists as they can muster together at every kind of a peaceful gathering to stir something up.
Yep.
So be prepared that you're going to probably have to deal with some people that are not too bright and are full of a lot of vitriol, and you might have to deal with that. And I would suggest that you don't ever stop.
Right.
Use the horn and keep moving. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not saying they'll get you out of jail. I'm saying that's what I'm doing. All right. Talk to y'all later, and good to see you. Until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
Hey, keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Night, y'all.
You guys have a good night.